Zachary Shanline has been a high school football referee since he was a sophomore in high school. He officiates basketball, baseball, and football, with his true passion being football. The Path of Stripes is the story of how he became one of the youngest officials in Kansas and where his dreams will take him. Here's Zachary.
I believe that if you catch yourself daydreaming about one thing every day of your life, then you truly have a passion for that thing. And for me, that one thing that I'm always thinking about is officiating. I am a high school sports official. I work football in the fall, basketball in the winter, and baseball in the spring and summer. I am always asked, Zach, why did you start officiating in the first place? Well, as you can see, I have been in and around sports all my life. I played all three of the sports that I officiate, and through those sports, I always admired the officials who worked my games. I even remember officiating basketball on the playground in third grade rather than playing. The first sport I found myself excelling in was baseball. I started out working t-ball when I was in middle school just to make some extra money, but I was then asked to work my first ever actual kid pitch game behind the plate. The rec director soon after the game asked me to work summer youth tournaments. These youth tournaments were not easy work. They would be 12 to 15-hour days Saturday and Sunday in the 100-degree Kansas heat. But these tournaments were where I learned how to communicate like an official, both to my partner, like you can see in the picture, and also to coaches and players. Summer youth tournaments were where I learned how to listen, learn, and ask questions from experienced umpires. The umpire you see here is Zachary Shanline. He was a mentor to me when I first started baseball. He was the first one to see true potential in me and take me under his wing. This picture was taken at one of my own high school baseball games. I was able to work my way up to a 12U state championship game in 2019 and again in 2020. I am now working in the high school ranks as an umpire while still continuing to work youth tournaments in the summer. Baseball is where I found my foundational skills of officiating, but I didn't find my true passion until I stepped onto the football field. One day when I was working the chains on the sideline of a middle school game, Colin Wilson, who is now a great mentor and crew member of mine, asked me to work a middle school football game. I never played football in high school, only in middle school, so I was a little intimidated when he first asked. But I said, sure, why not? And the next week I was working my first football game. I wish I had some pictures of the first game to show you because I was not prepared. As you can see here, we have a very specific uniform and presentation is very important. But my first game ever, I showed up in gray basketball shorts and a striped shirt that was about 2 sizes too big. I did not look the part, but I fell in love with the game and the responsibilities a football official had. My popularity as a young football official in the area began to grow. The Pratt Tribune even interviewed me to put me in the front page of the newspaper. This article would later be spread around the nation by the National Federation of High School Sports to promote young kids entering the profession. From that point on, it was just a short jump till I was able to work my first varsity game in Victoria, Kansas, as a junior in high school. At 16 years old, I was working my first varsity game. I was all in. Just 1 year later, I was asked to work a 5 and 6A game in Dodge City. I was just 17 then, working the highest high school level I possibly could. That Dodge City Heights game was the moment I realized I found my passion and I was going to make something out of it someday. The coaches looked at me a little funny when I walked out there on the field, but I assured them that I was old enough, and I tried to prove that on the field. Probably my favorite part about football officiating is being with a crew. In basketball and baseball, you can work with new people every week. But in football, you typically have one crew that you work with an entire season. For the past 3 years, I have worked as an alternate for 2 different crews. This is one of the crews that I worked a playoff game with. Next year will be my first year as a full-time member of one crew. When you are a part of a crew throughout an entire season, you get to learn how other crew members are going to call a game, where they're going to be standing, when are they going to communicate, and how are they going to communicate. You begin to learn all of the information and discuss with each other on how to improve. And throughout the year, we become a well-oiled machine thinking as one unit. Focus, focus, focus. When I am officiating a game, there is not a single thing that I'm thinking about other than what is happening on the field or court. When I step off of a football field, I'm usually far more mentally tired than I am physically. There are countless scenarios that we must rule on during a game, and the best way to keep track of them is to simply stay alert. I often get so focused during a game that I unknowingly ignore coaches or fans that are complaining about a call. I guess you can say that could be both a good and a bad thing. A lot of people do ask me why I like to officiate so much, even when I get yelled at by coaches, players, and spectators. And the truth is, it doesn't bother me too much. I always try to tell myself that it's not me they're yelling at, it's the call. And I do get calls wrong. We are expected to be 100% fair and accurate, and I would say that the vast majority of officials try to achieve perfection. But we make mistakes and we kick ourselves for making them, especially when they are photographed like this one. Yeah, there probably was a foul there that I didn't call, but hey, we miss calls just like players miss shots. My love for officiating has extended off the field and court as well. With the help of Ryan Pinkel, a mentor of mine, we have created the officiating club here at Hutchinson Community College in an attempt to get more college students into the profession and giving back to the sports we love. We are seeing an extremely low number of officials getting registered, and we designed this club to combat that issue. This is one of my favorite pictures I have of me working a game. I just had to share it with you guys. This is me behind the plate of my brother and my brother pitching on the mound. It's always fun to work at summer league games and to do what we both love at the same time. My family is a huge part of my officiating passion. They always have my back, and they are the reason I have such high goals for myself. As for those goals, I hope to one day make my way through the college ranks and to eventually have the opportunity to officiate in the National Football League. It will not be an easy process, but with the help of great mentors and a large group of people that are cheering me on, I hope to one day be on the TV doing what I love to do. When I first started officiating in my gray basketball shorts and oversized shirt, I never thought that I would one day be dreaming about working the highest level of football in the world. In my high school, there was a saying in the hallway that read, "If you have a passion, take the action, and magic will happen." And so far, I've tried to live by that, and I hope one day I will wake up to the magic of being an NFL official. Thank you.